quick video as I'm flying back to Ireland tonight. So while I'm here, I just wanted to make a little bit of an appraisal on, Lenin there's a very famous Lenin quote, how decades can happen in 1 week and weeks can happen in a decade. But as I'm traveling 2 hours back to Ireland, and I'm also traveling somehow back in time to where there is no chance of ever there being any semblance of regulation, proper drug policy regulation, and every day we get these kind of notices of people being done for personal use in Ireland, and it's so shocking. So the appraisal that I wanted to do was this, like a fortnight ago. It's been a hell of a fortnight. And it all started a fortnight ago here for me in Barcelona. My year somehow, in the past, it used to be about September. I don't think that's something to do with school. Your year used to begin in September, but now it's absolutely transformed for the last 20 years. That's how long Spannabis has been running, and so we were. There's a beautiful looking flower there, and so Spannabis was here a fortnight ago, and it started. If you look back at our last video, you'll have seen the videos with Albert Theo from Luz Verde, and Albert is an activist, and well, he's also a guy that is tragically he has to leave every week and go down to a prison in Yedenaires, which is an open prison, which is some consolation. But he leaves his family every week, and he goes down there with Carlos Sege, the friend. And their crime was basically just being administration of a cannabis club, one of the famous cannabis club at the time in Barcelona called Amran. And so anyway, the last video was about, we were trying to mobilize people to come out onto the streets and to support the closing because the clubs are under threat. According to Ayuntamiento, a councillor in the latest Ayuntamiento decided that declared he was going to shut all the clubs in Barcelona. They reckon there's over, I don't know, there's over 180 of them, up to 200 at least. And and there's lots of people working in there. I mean, there's the bud tenders, there's the people, just everybody around all of those 180. It's a proper mini industry, micro industry, and this guy wants to close the whole thing down. So anyway, that was the shadow under which Spannabis went ahead this year. It's 20th year. So for 20 years, this fair has been going on. It's the biggest in the world, apparently. And in numbers, it's impressive. It's here 20 years, exactly how long I'm here. There's 280 international exhibitors, 3,900 professional guests, and it goes on for 3 unforgettable days. But that's just Spannabis. Now it's morphed out into Spannabis Week, and so Spannabis Week has now become this incredible thing where so for each year, my favorite event of the whole week is something that begins on the Wednesday. It can be Tuesday or Wednesday, but this year it was Wednesday. So the Wednesday takes place. It's called C Days, and it takes place in UPC, which is a full university, Polytechnic de Catalunya, and they offer masters in I'm pointing there. And for the images that are going to appear, but it takes they offer a master's in cannabis research and cannabis everything. It's devoted to the plant and all the uses of it, the hemp, every kind of in the industrial uses, the medicine, and it's all about the science. Think in UCD and Trinity terms, you're thinking Innovation Academy or Tangent in Trinity, and it's all about innovation, but it's devoted to the plant because they can. One of the first speakers on it this year was a lady called Viola, a scientist called Viola Brunatelli, who actually, the last time I met her last year, she told me 6 months previously, she had been studying in UCD, but she left because and moved back to Barcelona because they weren't allowing her to. She was prohibited from studying CBD. And you'll now find Viola Brunatelli. You can check her out online. She's got an amazing book now on all the science surrounding our endocannabinoid system and CBD and the relationship with its effects in our body. So that's where I kicked off my year this year. It's an amazing day out. It's run by Ruben Valenzuela. And Ruben he's got his own company, but he's headed that cannabis hub. That hub brings together every kind of research institutions. It's all about innovation in this really amazing industry that's developing. It's all pretty new, and it's great to go see it. And the first year I was there, they literally have the students who are pitching their ideas, these brand new ideas that these students are devoted their master's students in cannabis, and so it's so progressive. And then so this is Barcelona. It's all about it's one moment it feels the most progressive place in the world to live. Then you get a guy in the town hall saying we're going to shut down all the clubs, like not just a couple, but in the end. So in the end, that shadow did manifest itself, and from the first night, literally on the Wednesday night, reports start coming in that clubs all around the city are being raided, and raided means police going in and checking everybody in there. Everybody in a social club, you have to be a member, so you have to pay your membership fee, and you might have done it just for the night. That's usually how it works. But everybody in there can be checked against the registrar if they're a member of the club, and they also have to be consuming on the premises. Those are the rules. And so another thing is that well, you're checking age. I mean, nobody's in there under age, but there never is. These places are generally run okay. There are some nefarious kind of characters within the industry, and so that's what the police, I guess, are stamping down. But they seize all the product from the thing. So it's as ever, it's still operating in a grey area, and it's still a problem. So if you look back at our last talk with Albert Theo, we explored a lot the CSCs, and I've had people on before, people like Patty Amaget, who featured in Spannabis this year. She's always in the conference, mobilizing people to get out on the streets and to get active and start, fighting for to save our clubs. And so Patty was very animated this year, and she in her talk about CSCs inside the conferences. Spannabis has many elements, so it has a conference center inside the Spannabis site, and in there you've got constant conferencing going on the Friday and the Saturday. Very interesting stuff. It can be from related to, I've seen one brilliant thing on soil and soil regeneration, a brilliant character from America. And so we have there's lots of learnings all day long. I love that. And then out in the main space, you have everything that you could want to grow. All the seed companies are out there, any seed you want. And then you have it's just it's a very, very big fair. For me, it's always a bit of an energy management thing. One of the bad news is that it takes place out in Cornellà. Cornellà is not technically Barcelona. It's another city outside the city, and as it's like flying you to places close to places that you used to fly to or you wanted to fly to. The old Ryanair tagline. And so it's one of those. It's a killer to get out there every day. Myself hobbling along with the stick, but it's worth it. And it's got full on musical programs. We've got DJs all over the 3 days. So the places, and this year was beautiful weather. Sun was shining, but not too hot. It can be hot. And so this year was just perfect. So good weather for bopping. So I know a lot of people, African warriors. Lenin never left. I think she never left the dancing out there. So a lot of fun, bopping, big crowd over from Ireland, this year, I'd say more than ever. And still, you still only get to see half the people that are in the place, but they are here. I had a group of some of our most renowned hempsters, the McDonald's, our OG Jim and Mark were over from the hemp company, and so they came with me and when we did the cannabis hub, and then they did the ICBC, which is, so the Thursday you have the ICBC, which is a business to business fair, and it's quite costly to attend, and but there's where a lot of kind of real connections are made if you have businesses, and so that's what happens on the Thursday. Friday is just the main attraction, and conferences on the side, all the businesses, everybody just hanging out. I have my spots where I've got it down to a kind of fine art, how to conserve my energy over these, because fairs kill me generally. All that standing, all that kind of networking and talking, and so this I have my little seats that I go from. I go from seat to seat inside the fair. Otherwise, I'd be on the floor. So, but then just a couple of my seats just sitting around is incredible who you meet, and so I'm sitting around for just a half an hour, well, half an hour, maybe an hour one day, and Kyle Esplin comes by. Kyle is from the Scottish Hemp Federation. He's the CEO director of that, and Kyle, we're going to get him on because he's a specialist on landrace and all different genetics that he's been studying from all over the planet, and really interesting character, and also a classical musician, and so there's multifaceted people. Everybody it's the most interesting kind of fair for just the characters that rock up into your space. Then I had another couple from Oregon, and so they were from a husband and wife in a cannabis fair, because this venue is packed with vaping, puffing, and so there's no doubt about about what's going on where you are. Anyway, so they were on their way to Thailand, and they were doing a Spannabis and a couple of fairs before they would go there, because they're going out there to grow. They're bought a farm in Thailand, and he was a kind of lead lighting expert who was bringing his technology out there. So they're incredibly interesting to talk. They're from Oregon, which has already done all that legalization thing, and so yeah, just constant random people run into space. And that was a Saturday, man. Saturday, I managed to lose my phone with all this to and fro. I lost my phone. And this is just a very much a little segue because I'm 20 years. I'm as old as I'm in Barcelona as long as Spannabis is here. And if you've been any time in Barcelona at all, you'd know how normalized petty theft is in this town. I mean, I think it's up there, and you have it top of the charts in 1 to 10 top places to lose your wallet in Europe. It's going to be Prague, Barcelona. It's going to be right up there. And the reason is it's just completely normalized, but also it's legalized. I mean, literally you have to rob 401 euros for it to be a crime that the cops will pay any attention to. So this is the backdrop. This is my segue. This is the backdrop of me misplacing my phone, and so. But then I was we were so tied to our phones. I couldn't believe it. So for the next 3 or 4 hours, I have no communication with people. I'm lost. I'm in this it's a very busy fair. There's 30,000 people there. There's lots of people I have to meet. Blah blah blah. But a few places we're going to be with the talks and different things. And then, so then at the end of I wrote it off at one stage. I said, okay, the phone's gone. And then at the end of the day, somebody said, well, did you check the lost and found? And so I did, man. And in this madness of 30,000 people, everybody supposedly stoned and all the rest of it. And my phone was handed in to the lost and found, which I found remarkable. You live in Barcelona, if you're anything, it's gone. It's gone. You just write it off like that. So that was a massive bonus for the weekend, and but also connecting with lots and lots of people. I was with Graham DeBarra from Ireland. Lots of people over from Ireland. Like I said, I missed loads of people. Martin Conlon was over from Martin's World, and loads of people from the CAA. I met Ashton Hudson inside one of the talks. There was one brilliant talk we all kind of levitated towards, which was the Thailand and what's the situation with the legalization out in Thailand, given by a lovely Thai lady who was gave a very very exciting talk. So anyway, so this is it's kind of what it is every year. It's loads to be inspired by, meeting people, the contacts you make, that'll take you through the year. And so Saturday, for me, that's my routine. They'll do lots of conferencing, bit of bopping in between, but I'm conserving energy all the time. And then Sunday is my go back for specific reasons. So Sunday, I always go back, and I went back to make some contacts with the media. So the different cannabis media, they've got their stands out there. Everybody's got a stand out there. So all the patient advocacy, everything is they've all got specific stands, and it's an incredible place to build contacts in this in what is a very vibrant and still a young industry. That's a point, actually. So it is a young industry, and I've got some photos here of some products that these are my bugbears, man. That this industry, okay, we're young, that's fair enough, but there's so much HHC, this synthetic cannabinoid that's knocking around the place. But the packaging on some of these products, I don't know, like who's it? It's not. It's even for kids. Like you wouldn't even say that that's a teen marketing. It's more. You can't deny that that's marketed for kids. And why this industry continues to produce this crap marketing. Then my other big bugbear is the single use vapes. Places full of single use vapes, and you're going, come on. The next time you're going to see, every time I walk by them, the next time I see that, it's sticking out of the eye socket of a turtle, and it riles me. And it's a shame as an industry that purports to all constantly tells the world about the industrial uses of cannabis and how everything can be created, plastics and everything can be replaced, but we can't make these products. The place is full of plastic. The places like so many products are not sustainable. They're not using hemp derived materials, and that's a real shame. It's obviously cost. There was a lot of it is absolutely like everything, outsourcing product engineering to the east, to Asia and China. There was stands in there, people who get you like the Alibaba of cannabis products, everything from bongs to you name it. And so that's it's just another industry that does get caught up in the economics of outsourcing and all that kind of end of industry. Meanwhile, back in the world, there's also one of the talks I was at, particularly the one with CSC with Paddy Amagette and Anna from INCOD and CatFac, and they had a guest with them, Ollie Wark, I think is his name, and he runs the CSC I think in Berlin. God, I can't remember these details, but so I spoke with him afterwards, and because everybody was talking about the upcoming pending legalization that was likely to happen in Germany, but we didn't know yet. And Ollie painted it black, man. He said there's not a hope of this happening. It was supposed to happen on the Friday. This is what we're talking on the Wednesday, and he's going. And the vote is supposed to be on the Friday, and he's gone. This is not going to happen. Bavaria, where he said particularly, I have no interest in allowing this to happen. Anyway, so what did it do? It passed, and my God, so Germany has legalized. This was one of the biggest, this was the big domino we were all waiting for, and it's there. So one politician, Karl Lauterfach, a lot of details missing here, but Karl Lauterfach has, he showed vision and moral courage. One politician who really pushed this through for so long, because this didn't happen overnight. It's been bubbling away for I don't know how many years. Carlo, to anybody, if you want to do have a look at the background of this, because this has now happened. Legalization, incredible, and so we were waiting for this for so long. This the idea of this podcast, Can We Talk Now, was kind of set up for what we were hoping was going to be this great citizens' assembly in Ireland that would lead us to at least give us hope and all of that kind of. That happened, and nothing happened. And we write reports. That's what we do. So we're going to have we wrote a wonderful report, and we made recommendations. And but nobody. But what Karl has demonstrated is that this is just a matter of vision and will and courage to do it, and it can be done like that in a relatively short period of time, and everybody is ready to come in behind and support it. So we're still the same as we ever were in Ireland. In 2 hours, in a few hours, I'm flying in the Ryanair red eye at a very early hour, early in the morning, and so I wanted to just get out my little appraisal of Spannabis, and but I'm going. It's only 2 hours away, but somehow it's decades away, because we're still there. We're still in Ireland. The Citizen Assembly meant nothing. The low-hanging fruit of decrim is the only show in town. The only thing that people talk about anymore is decriminalization. When you decriminalization, decrim equals procrim. There's not. That's the one thing that Karl said when the law was passed. He said that maybe this is the beginning of the end. I forget the exact words he said, but maybe this is the beginning of the end for criminal to remove the money from criminal gangs. And it was that simple. His thing from the beginning was always that to harm reduction, keep an eye on kids and keep it above over 18s. Have CSCs, which is the recognized perfect model in the world, and Uruguay have gone back to CSCs years ago, and they've legalized before anybody. Forget Canada. Uruguay has been done this, I don't know, decades ago now. So this is all done. So Malta has a very successful CSCs up and running, and everything is working. No, the world hasn't collapsed. The world hasn't stopped spinning. In fact, the world is the opposite. We're now we're still involved in wars and all this horrible stuff going on in the world. But in the meantime, you could give everybody a break and just legalize this plant medicine that so many people. I met so many people like Carola Perez in one of the in Cannabis Hub, and she's like the great Spanish patient advocate, and she's been fighting all the time. And so they were that group IACM, which our own Tom Curran is involved in. So Tom, they submitted to the UN this year, which is for the first time the patients were recognized in the conventions and resolution drawing up of. And so Carola was involved in that. That's what we need. We need a few patients in the mix here saying why this has to change. And so Carola still has fought for 2 decades here in Spain. It's a bit depressing actually to chat with her offside in Cannabis Hub, and she was saying that, yeah, while we all had great hopes for this new Minister for Health in Spain, who's an I'm not going to try that. This word I can't do. An anesthesiologist, and her specialty is pain, and so everybody felt that she's going to be very much on top of recognizing chronic pain, and it didn't happen. So anyway, that's my little catch up on before I head back to Ireland. And but I have all my things. This is my year has started. This is the thing. The beautiful thing I love about our this season. So I'll come back. I have all the seeds that I want from the strains that I want. Different ones, some new ones, some old ones, some ones I know that. And I have all the different press that I need for me to explore. I have a few ideas that we're going to be trying to make happen in Ireland later this year. Look out for that. And so I'll thank you for your time. I'm going to leave. I'm flying in a couple of hours, and so I'm going to try and turn around this a little edit on this. And so please subscribe. do all those things, hit the bell, subscribe. I've got a bunch of stuff. I've met lots of people over this last 10 days, and I'm going to have some really interesting people up here talking in the next while. So it's a good time to kind of check in. Germany has opened the door, and we need to kind of keep pushing now in each region to make things happen. And we can't. There's no excuses anymore. Karl has shown that. It's only about vision, will, and moral courage to forget about. And we've got lots of crap happening. There was an interesting last thing. There was an interesting talk was on a while ago with the young Labour and Greens were represented in Ireland, and there was kind of like there was a kind of still while everybody was very pro on the thing, it's like a little bit of that talking in silos, but everybody kind of felt that this was going to go on for a while and everything was going to go kick down the road. We can't keep kicking down the road, and we're going to another electoral cycle. And we just had a new Taoiseach, a guy that has spoken out in the Dáil badly about addiction, people addicted, and he's made some really bad statements. He's the guy who Vera Toomey walked the whole way from Cork and failed to turn up. He was Minister for Health at the time, so we can hold no great hope of anything happening with this dude. And maybe he's changed his spots as he has to kind of I don't know. Ireland politics is very, very difficult, and we still feel an awful long way off. And every day, as I said, every day, the personal use numbers are racking up. We did 7,000 people last year in personal use, even though the police will tell you that they don't, which is it's a joke. They don't. They do. And so going back in time and back in a couple of hours. So thanks a lot, guys, and talk to you soon when I'll have a guest here beside me, a really, really interesting one. And so talk to you.